Welcome back. I'm going to take a drive to the store. Hopefully my phone stays up on the dashboard here, however you call it. I was so proud of my last point in my previous video that I made as a response to that prideful, ignorant man. You know, I even told him, I said to him, because he commented, I said, if you would just admit that you might be wrong about what you said about us, I will delete that video and have all the respect in the world for you. I said that. I gave him the choice. I gave him the chance. He didn't do it. He does not regret what he says. But I bet I got him thinking, because the last point I made in my previous video was, if there's a hell, I would rather burn there, because that means that your God is a dictator. And if there isn't a Christian hell, and that it was just a modern concept that was added into the Bible, then there's no point in me worshiping him, because he's not the God of my ancestors. But that's not what this video is about today. It kind of is, but deer trying to cross the street. The point of the video today, I'm going to talk about something a little bit controversial. It's very rainy today and chilly. Winter's coming. Finally. I'm sick of these tourists and I'm sick of this heat. Good. Okay. So I'm going to talk about something a little bit controversial today. I'm going to talk about people with no European descent taking part in the Indo-Aryan faith. What do I feel about that? How do I feel about that? As you recall in the past, I told you that I wish no ill upon anyone. Any other culture, ethnicity, none of that. And I don't. However, I have to admit, there's something that really disgusts me that's become all too common amongst we Europeans and people of European descent today. And that is the obsession with Japan because of the anime and the culture and all that good stuff. Now, let me just be one to say that I fucking love Japan. I absolutely love it. It's a strange place, and there's definitely some very strange and odd people there who have strange and questionable habits, but the culture is rich and beautiful and ancient and preserved. And no one ever bothers to ask why Westerners are so obsessed with Japan. I know why. I know exactly why. Because they have something that we don't anymore. They have their culture. They have their ethnic identities preserved. They have their language preserved. They have a lot preserved. It's changed, like every nation has, and become what it has in the modern era. But they have what we don't. And that's why people in the West especially in America, are really obsessed with Japan. And you'll meet so many people of European descent that say,
I feel Japanese. I need to move to Japan. I want a life in Japan.
That fucking disgusts me. How fucking dare you? How dare you try to move to a culture that your ancestors had nothing to do with and go there and try to become a part of that culture? Yeah, I'm saying that. How dare you? How fucking dare you? You're not Japanese and you never will be. I mean, unless you are. But if you're Japanese, I'd be surprised if you were watching my channel. If you are, thanks. But why would you want somebody else's culture when yours is beautiful enough? Because there's beauty in all cultures of the world. Is your culture just not interesting enough for you? Are your ancestors not interesting enough for you? Are you going to listen to the narrative that tells you about your people's cultures? Fuck them. Not cool enough? Not in headlines enough for you? Fuck that. Fuck that. Moving to Japan as somebody that isn't Japanese, to me, is not cool. It's not cool. Moving to a multicultural country like America or Canada or Australia, fine. But the reason you're doing that is because of money and because you don't give a fuck about your culture. Simple as that. That's the only reason why anybody would do that. It's because they don't want to fight for their culture, fight for their nation. They want to go somewhere else where they can make more money. Because money is more important to them. You really don't need a lot of money to survive. You know. But that's just my opinion. Okay? So, on that topic, so then how do I feel about non-European people becoming a part of the Indo-Aryan faith rather than the faith of their own ancestors? Well, I think it's fucking weird. I think it's weird. It's cringy. It's cringy for me to see a man of European descent wearing samurai armor or trying to be a ninja or whatever. It's weird. It's lame to me. It's weird and strange to me seeing people trying to be something that they're not. Same reason that I don't respect transgendered people, because they're trying to be something that they're not. Now, it's a little bit different when it comes to religion, okay? Because for the Indo-Aryan faith, I will welcome anyone with open arms into it, regardless of ethnic origin. But I won't understand it, because it's laziness, and it's disrespectful to your ancestors. It's disrespectful to the men and women that you descend from. So, and like in the case of people that are of mixed origins, congratulations, you have two options. You know, good for you. But or you have multiple options, good for you. Fantastic. But the point that I'm trying to make to people who are interested in becoming part of the Indo-Aryan faith that are not of Aryan heritage, or not of European heritage, Eurasian heritage, is that I've studied so many cultures and histories around the globe of Turkic peoples, Tuvans, Tatars, East Asian people, Mongolians, Chinese, Japanese, Jomon, Ainu, Southeast Asian, South Asian, Punjabi, Dravidian, Hindu people, Hindic people, indigenous Iranians, Persians, Greeks, Philistines, Phoenicians, Georgians, Ingushettians, Avars, Chechens, Celts, Germanics, Slavs, Baltics, Latin, Hellenic, the indigenous peoples of America, North and South, the Bantu peoples of Africa, the Maasai tribe, the Hazda tribes, the Pygmy peoples, the North African peoples, the ancient Egyptians, Tunisians, Iberian Peninsula people. I've studied a lot about a lot of cultures around the planet. And believe me when I say that there's beauty in all of them. Beauty so wonderful that it should be your duty and your job to preserve it. And if you want to have a relationship with the divine, why not do that through the beauty of your own culture? My objective here on this channel is primarily to bring back the cultures and the customs of my own people back from the dead, but also encourage all people to do their part, play their part in preserving their cultures. And sometimes we have to ask and answer difficult questions to figure out how to do that together. We can have mutual respect for one another, regardless of ethnic origins, and want to preserve our ethnicities, our ethnic identities, and the traditions that we have with which we worship the gods, without being racist. So think about that. Don't try to be something that you're not. If you were born a man, you'll always have a Y chromosome and an X chromosome. If you were born as a woman, you'll always have two. Nothing will ever change that. If you were born European, you'll always be European. If you were born South Asian, you'll always be South Asian. East Asian, Northeast Asian, Central Asian. You get the idea. You were what you were born as. And you're beautiful. You're great. It's dishonorable. It's dishonorable to your ancestors' interpretation of the divine, and it's dishonorable to you. You are literally, by attempting to adopt another culture and become something that you're not, you are literally dishonoring yourself in so many ways. And that applies to so many things in life. That applies to so many things in life. Let's be real. If you're a woman that wants to be a man, that's basically your way of just saying, I think women are lesser to men and I want to be a man. Same with men. I think men are lesser and I want to be a woman. I don't know anything about my culture. I don't care about it. It's lame. It's not as popular as the other cultures, so I'm going to try to become this one. You're disrespecting so many people and yourself by trying to be something that you're not. And that's just the truth. That is the truth. You know, speaking of that too, actually, I'm going to have to cut this into the video at another point. I had to cut out a bit of my video because my windshield wipers got to a point where they were getting really loud when I was parked, when I rewatched the video. But so I'm half Celtic, half Germanic, and a little tiny bit Baltic. I have seen men and met men who are my kin, 100% Celtic. Like I mean Celtic as Celtic can be. I'm talking like 90% Irish and 10% Welsh. I've seen their DNA results. And yet, they gravitate to the Germanic faith above all. Which is, that's okay. That's not as strange as somebody who is non-European deciding to be a part of the Indo-Aryan faith. That's not that strange to me because we're all related. We all have the same God, but with different names. I mean, I feel the same way about all the wild day gods, but when it comes to the Aryan family of gods, it's like literally, linguistically, and culturally tied to a single group of ancient peoples. Like we are the same. So it isn't that strange to see that, but it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to your Celtic ancestors and disrespectful to me and yourself that you don't put forth any effort in learning about the Celtic branch of the Aryan faith, because you should, because it's extraordinary. It is so extraordinary. Look, listen, I'm sorry, guys. I am so proud of my Germanic ancestry. I am. Paternal line, that's where I get all of my Germanic blood from. My last name is Germanic as can be. Okay? But I'm just going to say it. And if people want to disagree with me, I don't care. It's my opinion. The Celtic tribe, our people, were the best craftsmen in Europe. Maybe except for the Hellenic and the Latin people. But, I mean, they traded and learned from each other with the Celts of Gaul. The Celts made the most beautiful art, the greatest weapons, the greatest armor, the greatest fortifications of the Bronze and the Iron Age, just the best, the absolute best. I understand it's difficult to learn about that branch of our faith because we were the first that were hit in Europe. We were the first hit by monotheism. So much was taken away from it. So much. It's so difficult to find information about it, especially for us insular Celtic people. And by insular, I mean the British Isles and Ireland. Insular Celtic people, it's even more difficult to learn about because ours is an interesting branch of the Indo-European faith because it's a conglomerate of not only the Indo-Aryan faith, but of the people that were on the British Isles and in Ireland before the Indo-Aryan languages came. Our other ancestors, the farmers, the hunters, they all played a role in shaping what the Celtic faith became because it was a conglomerate of the two. You could say the same for most religions of Europe, but in the case of us insular Celts, there's a particular side of it that we'll just never, ever know. But it really bugs me when I see my Celtic brothers and sisters more interested in gravitating in, albeit just another branch of our religion, but not interested in learning anything about the peoples in which they're descended from, because they're not cool enough. They don't get spotlight enough in comparison to the Germanic. Same for you Slavs that do that. I live in Russia. You know I do. And I have seen Slavs with Germanic symbols all over them. And, you know, they may have Germanic ancestry from the Varangians and stuff like that, or they may not. And for the ones that don't, that are covered in these Germanic symbols on their body, why not Slavic symbols, bro? I don't get it. Why not Baltic symbols? Why not Finno-Ugric? You know? Just don't get it. Thanks for watching.